apps can do a lot of cool things. You could order dinner, gamble on your favorite team, and track your health. You could even get a mortgage. One click and you can be approved. I'm not sure by who or what country they're in. You deserve more from the mortgage industry. At AnyMac Home Mortgage, we believe in the need for live human interaction during a very complex process. The kind of service and guidance which an app simply can't provide. Our customers are more than credit scores and income documents. They're individuals and families who live in and strengthen our communities. Their story is our story, and that story begins in a home. Chris Sawyer is an expert on providing superior customer service and in meeting the mortgage needs of current and future homebuyers. With over 18 years of experience in the industry, Chris is able to help customers migrate through the home buying and home financing process by using his wealth of knowledge as a well-qualified mortgage professional. And best of all, Chris is located in Cromwell, Connecticut, where he has helped hundreds of clients in Connecticut, Massachusetts, and Rhode Island make their dreams of homeownership a reality. Visit chrissawyer.any-mac.com. Email him at csawyer@any-mac.com or give him a call, 860-878-8730.
Chris Sawyer, NMLS number 39345, corporate NMLS number 338923, AnyMac Home Mortgage and Equal Housing Lender, American Neighborhood Mortgage Acceptance Company, LLC, DBA AnyMac Home Mortgage, LoFi Direct, Connecticut First Mortgage Correspondent, License Lender, Broker Number, ML 338923, Massachusetts Mortgage Lender and Mortgage Broker License Number, MC 338923, Rhode Island License Lender, License Number 201128110L. Call for additional details.
Jones on first down, wide open, it's Barkley, and Saquon Barkley will take it into the end zone.
Your best ability is availability. Saquon Barkley, he's great when he's on the field, but the problem is since 2018, he hasn't been healthy for this team.
Look at this, they lob it to him, he taps it in off the glass. How about that?
Porter Moser, I think right now is the best coach in college basketball, hands down.
Fins 2 for 3, he's done his part. Pitch is drilled to deep right field toward the pole, and it is gone.
They don't mind not being what they were in the 90s as the best organization in baseball, because the Yankees are not. They're even close to the best organization in baseball.
They're trying to be the Rays, and the Rays do this for a reason. Like, you're the Yankees.
Welcome to Sports Talk with R&J. I'm Steve Risser, along here with Justin D'Onofrio. And the league has came to a decision on the on Draymond Green. They have suspended him for one game, and I think the suspension is warranted. The suspension is definitely warranted. I mean, for what he did the other night. I know that your boy Sabonis started it, but there's no right to be stepping on a player's chest, especially during a game, and then getting the crowd into the game. This guy's got to know better. He absolutely does. I mean, I think that was not smart of Draymond at all. So he will be suspended for Game 3, and I think it is warranted. Justin, your thoughts on Draymond Green's suspension?
Yeah, it was definitely warranted. Sabonis grabbed his leg. Should have been a foul on Sabonis as well. Then it was, but yeah, there's still no reason to go step on him in there in that situation there. Saturday night, he got away too with sitting on Sabonis late in that game. Too, remember, like under a minute, he ended up sitting on Green. Sat at Sabonis, didn't get called. But yeah, them riling up the fans. Yeah, you should know better, but that's who he is. Like, if he hasn't figured out at this point, that, and again, it's sounded like, big part of why he gets suspension is his history. He's always been about this, and he's always kind of, his antics have, got him in trouble. And again, it's not good with his team down 2-0. And, they're pretty thin in the front court right now. So it's going to be a big loss for him. And it's definitely warranted that he got suspended.
Absolutely. Absolutely. He should have been suspended. But I don't know how huge, actually, personally, I don't know how huge of a loss it's going to be because Draymond Green hasn't played well. And to me, he's overrated. Draymond Green is an overrated player. He's not what he was. We're not like we're losing the Draymond Green from 2016. To me, I think Draymond Green is definitely overrated. I don't know how big of a loss this is actually going to be. Yes, they're thin in the front court, but I think it could be an advantage because they could bring, they could start because Jordan Poole or DiVincenzo, who have now been inconsistent in the series, they're going to start now, and that's going to add more shooting on the floor. So I actually think this might be a blessing in disguise for the Warriors going to Game 3, and I think this might help them going to this game.
It could. Poole has not been good defensively. The Kings have kind of tried to just attack him the first two games. But yeah, if he can knock down shots shooting wise, it could really help out the Warriors. And now they've missed a lot of open shots, and I know we'll get to it, but Davion Mitchell's been unbelievable on Steph Curry, and he's kind of worn him down, and he struggled. So yeah, like they need another guy to kind of step up here, help him out, and yeah, maybe pulls that guy. DiVincenzo too. Last year got traded to Sacramento. He didn't like the way that Sacramento kind of, he thought he should have started last year, and he thought that the Kings were trying to tank his value last year. So I would assume that if he gets an opportunity, he would love to put the Warriors back in the series.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I mean it's gonna be tough for the Warriors going into Game 3, but I personally think they win. And I think a big reason they win is because they don't have Draymond Green. They don't have that distraction in Game 3.
Yeah, I could see it. Again, the Kings haven't played well. I don't think the Warriors have either. The Kings have played.
I would say the Kings haven't played well.
I
would say the Kings haven't played well. They're up 2-0 in the series.
But like they have, this has been their two of the worst shooting performances they've had all year. Like they have not shot the three ball well.
But for me, the Kings are just not a good three-point shooting team in general, and they won the game. So I don't know if you could say they haven't played well.
But they haven't played well. But how about they haven't hit their ceiling yet?
Gotcha.
Like
okay. I got you.
So that's where, and I don't think going on the road, I don't think they played better on the road than they did at home this year. So I don't think, look, I'll be honest. I think the Kings win this thing in 5. Yeah, I think the Warriors get either Game 3 or Game 4, but I think the Kings win this in 5. I'm that confident right now.
5?
Yeah, the Warriors haven't played well on the road.
The Kings in 5? This is the defending champ. Still, I know the Warriors are not as good this year. This is still the defending champs. This is still the Warriors. 5?
I think the age. Davion Mitchell's been locked down not locked down, but he's held Steph Curry in check. And the numbers he's putting on offensively for him is an added bonus. Again, his nickname's Off Night. He's done a great job. He's held Steph Curry to 10 turnovers, 8 assists. He's been unbelievable. Curry only took one shot when he guarded him the other night on 19 possessions. The Kings are the better team right now. I think they win this thing. I think they figure out winning this thing in 5.
Yeah, it's close. It's close, but I'm definitely not counting out the Warriors yet. But the big question, though, is now that the Warriors are down 2-0, how much concern should we have for them? I think there should be a ton of concern because of how poorly they played on the road. And you've said it, the Kings, you in your opinion, you think the Kings are a better team, and that's it. And arguably in this series they are.
Yeah, I am very concerned about the Warriors. No Green now. Again, Kevin Looney, he gets in foul trouble like he did the other night. Who do they got to guard Sabonis? They're going to struggle down low, I feel like. They've missed a lot of open shots. I will give them that, because the Kings have not been great wise. They've over-penetrated a lot defensively. But if Clay's not the same guy defensively, like the Kings have attacked him on that end of the floor as well. He's just, he's had 4 knee surgeries or whatever it is. I'm very concerned about the Warriors. They had 11 road wins all year. You're gonna have to win a couple in Sacramento, and I don't know if they're gonna be able to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. They're gonna have to win at least one of those games. At least one. They will not win this series because they are the lower seed. They're gonna have to win at least one game in Sacramento. And they just have been so bad on the road this year. But personally, I do think the Warriors still win the series. I do think they win the next 4. I'm so confident in the Warriors. They're been the gold standard in the NBA for the last 7-8 years. I still think, I don't know if they win. I don't think they're going to win the championship, but I still think they come back and win the series.
Really, you're not. I could see it. I guess they are the Warriors, and it's like I wouldn't be totally shocked. They've won 4 championships. Like the age is getting to them. You got a Kings team that's kind of. They really don't have much. I guess now you're up 2-0 and you have something, you don't want to blow a 2-0 series lead here. But for the Warriors, it's kind of like we've won 4, we're down 2-0. Like, is there a ton of motivation really to get back in there and try to win the series? Like, it's, they've done it 4 times already. For the Kings team, this Kings team's hungry. I wouldn't be shocked. Curry can go off for 50, and it wouldn't totally shock me. But I think the Kings right now are in good shape, and I think maybe 5's a stretch, maybe. But I think the Kings find a way to. I think the Kings find a way, and I think they continue to be the better team. The way the Kings have also, they haven't lost more than 3 straight since the month of November. And they played 5 back-to-backs this year against like the same opponent on back-to-back nights. They never lost the second night of that back-to-back. So like they've been really good at making adjustments against teams. So that's why I feel like too, like Mike Brown's done a good job and he knows the Warriors. I just think I don't see the Kings blowing this.
Yeah, and they up 2-0. They have a very, very good chance of winning this series. And here's the big question too for the Kings: what do they have to do to put the Warriors away? And I'll let you go first as a Kings fan. What do they got to do to put this Warriors team away up 2-0?
For me, you got to, without Draymond Green, go after Kevin Looney on Thursday night. Get him in foul trouble early. Let Domantas Sabonis kind of attack. Now he is questionable. He's been playing with a broken thumb on his right hand. I would assume he's gonna play tomorrow night. But attack, get him in foul trouble because the Warriors front court is thin. And Sabonis is looking to go off. He played better in game 2 than he did in game 1. And number 2 for me is Davion Mitchell. I kind of said, Curry, 1 shot on 19 possessions the other night. He's been unbelievable. And it's been an added bonus that he put up 14 the other night offensively, because that's not a strong suit of his game. But defensively, the way he's been on Curry, he's kind of, he's worn him out here. Again, Curry's going to get his 30, but as long as you don't let him get 40 or 45, like as long as you don't get him too hot, and I think Mitchell, if he continues to play as well as he has on defensive end of the floor, I like it. And then the Kings, their starters are like 9 for 45 from 3. Their starters. If Keegan Murray can start going, Kevin Huerter, even Harrison Barnes, they can knock down shots. If they start open shots as well, watch out. I don't know how this Warrior team's going to stop them, because defensively, they're not. They got some weaknesses defensively, and I think the Kings kind of continue to expose that. And a couple of the Kings starters have not played well, and I think when they do and they kind of figure it out, the Warriors are going to have a tough time stop slowing them down.
And I'm glad you brought up some of the King stars like Kevin Huerter and Murray, because for me, if those 2 guys step up and start to play well, I think they're going to win the series. I think that they need those 2 guys. They definitely need those 2 guys to step up. And then Fox has got to continue to be how great as he is in clutch time, and he's been great all year long. So Fox being great in clutch time and Huerter and Murray stepping up, if the Kings do those things, I think they are going to win the series in 5.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think they absolutely could. Yeah, Fox, as you mentioned too, the mid-range, thought about putting him in there too. But look, yeah, the mid-range game, he's got one of the best in the sport. He's just so good at getting to a spot. And yeah, what Fox has done all year, you talk about the clutches, is you kind of seen it too in game 1 and game 2, is he's so much more of a distributor in the first half, and he kind of conserves his energy for the third and fourth quarter. And that's where he kind of gets going, and he'll take over. So yeah, if he continues to do that, the Warriors are going to have a tough time stopping him. And the Kings should win this thing, and hopefully 5 games would be nice. Be nice to close this thing out at home.
Yeah, absolutely. But for me, I think the Warriors are going to hit their threes, and I think that Fox isn't going to play as well in Golden State. And I still think that the Warriors are going to win the series, but the Kings have a very, very good chance of winning the series.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised. I thought maybe the way that they played the first 2 nights maybe change your mind. But yeah, I could see. I know it's tough to bet against the Warriors. If it wasn't, they weren't playing the Kings, I might be with you. That yeah, they could find a way to win 4 straight here. But yeah, I think the King again. I want I'll be honest. I'm already kind of looking ahead. Like I want the Lakers next. I want the Lakers. Like that'd be great to knock them out as well. The two biggest Kings rivals would be great. So I'll be honest. I'm already. And I shouldn't be looking past the Warriors, but I'm already a little bit and I'm kind of hoping the Lakers move on as well.
I will say this: if the Kings win Game 3, I'll admit it's over.
All right. I'm good with that. Yeah. I would hope they don't blow a 3-0 one, but 3-0 lead. But yeah, I can totally see it. Kings, be great to go 3-0. But yeah, I think the Warriors probably this one. I think the Warriors get out of the 5. I think it goes.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with the Kings and the Warriors. They play again on Thursday night in San Francisco. But we're going to stay in the Western Conference and talk about the favorite to win the NBA championship, and that's the Phoenix Suns. And they won last night, 123-109 over the Clippers. I mean, Devin Booker was great. Kevin Durant played really well. CP3 was better than he was in Game 1. Torrey Craig really stepped up. So the big thing is who has the edge in this series, and I do think it's still pretty obvious that it is the Suns, because they definitely are the more talented team, especially with the Clippers not having Paul George. But with the way Kawhi has played and with the way Russell Westbrook has played in the series, the Clippers, I still do think without Paul George, definitely have a chance to knock off the Suns.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think I was with you last week and picking this thing at 5. I think this thing goes a distance. I think this thing goes 7. I am a little bit concerned about the Suns. They just don't have the depth guys outside of their starters. And that's kind of what's worrying me. And yeah, when Kawhi goes on a mission, man, it's tough to stop him. And he can kind of take out a team himself. And yeah, like again, Westbrook was 9 for 16 last night. Like, I know it's tough after you lose a performance, and you get, Westbrook actually shot the ball pretty well for his standards last night. But yeah, the Clippers kind of confused them in game 1 and even the first half of last night. So with all the defensive changes they kind of made, but yeah, I think the Suns still find a way to win the series just because they do have a little bit more talent. But yeah, I'm a little bit worried, and I would not be surprised if the Clippers knock them off.
Oh, absolutely not. Yeah, with the way Westbrook's played and Kawhi has been out. He was outstanding last night. I think it was like 31, 8, and 7. He almost had a triple-double. Man, in the playoffs, Kawhi is so good. Kawhi is so good in the playoffs. If this team had Paul George, they would have a very good chance to win the West. But the problem is, and you saw last night with the Suns making an adjustment in the second half, blitzing Kawhi, there really isn't anyone else outside of Paul George on that team that you could trust to hit a big shot. Russell Westbrook, yes, he's played well, but definitely you can't trust him beyond the arc to make a big shot. Eric Gordon, his best days are behind him. I know he played well in game 1, but his best days are behind him. So there really isn't anyone outside of Paul George you can trust to make a big shot. That's why I definitely still think the Suns have the edge, but the Clippers are definitely giving them a better series than I thought.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Yeah, the second half, as you mentioned, there's a good point. Yeah, like they really made it tough for Kawhi in the second half to kind of get anything going. Yeah, they just don't have the guys to step up. Look, if the Clippers could somehow win this series and get Paul George back, I think the Clippers could very well win the West. I just don't know if they're gonna be able to have enough to get by the Suns this series. Again, I think, yeah, as I mentioned a few minutes ago, I think this thing goes a distance now. But yeah, I think the Suns is gonna have a little bit too much talent for the Clippers. And yeah, I think Kawhi, they need somebody to step up around Kawhi, and I just don't trust a lot of the other pieces that they have right now, and that's the big problem.
Absolutely. Now, in this series, in the first 2 games, the Suns scored 23 bench points combined in the 2 games. The big question is, how big of a concern is the Suns bench, as the Sun, or you would say the Suns depth? And I think it's a major concern. I think it's a concern in this series. It's a major concern going forward. Their depth is terrible. Their benches might be the worst of any team in the postseason. I mean, that's what you get when you trade for Kevin Durant, because you have to end up trading. You trade Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson, and say you didn't make that trade, you'd have a Cam Johnson and a Torrey Craig coming off your bench. Now your bench is absolutely terrible because you traded for Kevin Durant, but that's the price you pay for trading for Kevin Durant. But I think the bench is definitely a major concern for the Suns going forward.
Yeah, it absolutely is. They just, yeah, as you mentioned, it is probably one of the worst benches, yeah, right now in the playoffs. And yeah, you can see nobody's been able to. They got 23 points from the first 2 nights, and look, Booker last night had 25 in the second half. Durant's a superstar, as we all know. Like, Durant can do it. But yeah, like if one of those two have an off night, Chris Paul bounced back and had a better game 2 than he did game 1. But yeah, if like for some reason, they kind of need that third guy. You're not really getting it out. There's no chance you're getting out of that bench. And when you play like a Nuggets team that's, they don't have a ton of bench scoring either. But, when you got a team that's got more talent, a little bit, or on the same level, talent
the same amount of talent, and say like in that series that Porter Jr. and Murray, especially out in Denver, have good games, and say that Chris Paul doesn't have a good game, and say your bench has a terrible game, you're going to lose that game on the road.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, that's going to be something that could come back and haunt them. Against the way the Lakers are playing right now. They got a Rui Hachimura and Austin Reeves that are playing really well right now. Like, yeah, there's the Suns, like it. That's a problem when you maybe if they can get by the Clippers here. That's something that could really affect them moving forward. Is that some of these other teams could have a bench here, have some other guys that knock down shots, and the same night in and night out, you kind of know who's gonna play well for the Suns or for the Suns. You don't know who's gonna, if anybody could kind of step up around Durant and Booker and Paul and even Ayton. Can you have like that fifth scorer and kind of help out when somebody's having a down night? And I don't know if the Suns team has it.
Absolutely. But for right now, I do have the Suns winning in 6. but I would not be surprised if the Clippers pull a major upset here.
No, I wouldn't either. Kawhi Leonard, Kawhi Leonard's it's been unbelievable. I guess we shouldn't be surprised that he could kind of do this, by himself right now. Like it really shouldn't be that shocking, but it still is. And yeah, I think think the Clippers have a chance here, but yeah, I think the Suns find a way to win this thing in 7 games.
Absolutely. So we'll move on to the Eastern Conference. And last night, the Cavs knocked off the Knicks 107-90 to even that series. And it'll be a big night for Darius Garland. Donovan Mitchell was getting everybody involved. LeVert was big off the bench. So the Cavs even the series 1-1. And the big question is this is a tough one. Who has the edge in the series right now? And this might surprise you. And I'm not being biased, but I'm still going to say the Knicks. I think the games Julius Randle has had in these first 2 games of the series. He had 19 in game 1. He had 22 in game 2. Julius Randle has proved that he's fine. I know last night there was a scare with Jared Allen with the back injury, but I think Julius Randle has proved that he is fine. Jalen Brunson came up big in game 1. I do think the Knicks have the edge in the series, but for them to win this series, guys outside of Brunson and Randle have to step up. And then Josh Hart, I'll give it to him in game 1. Josh Hart was good in game 1 as well. But guys like IQ, guys like, especially RJ Barrett, you got to start playing like the number 3 overall pick because you're not right now in the series. And Quentin Grimes, those Grimes, Barrett, and Quickly, they have to step up for the Knicks to win this series because you saw what the Cavs did last night. They started to blitz Brunson and forced the Knicks to shoot threes, and the Knicks did not shoot threes well last night at all. They were 7 for 24 from 3-point range. So the IQ, Barrett and Grimes definitely have to step up for this Knicks team to win this series. And I feel like in the Garden, those guys are going to step up. I also don't think Darius Garland is going to play as well as he played last night. Donovan Mitchell, he's going to be great every game. He's the best player in the series. But I don't think the bench for the Cavs is going to be as good in the Garden, and I don't think Garland will be as good at Madison Square Garden. So I do think the Knicks have the edge in the series, but they got to get contributions from Barrett, IQ, and Grimes.
Yeah, I think that I have the Knicks right now at 7 just because I think the Knicks win the home games, and I think that they got the game 1 on the road, that they stole that one. I feel like the Knicks could kind of go, in New York, find a way to kind of, win the 3 home games here. But yeah, for the Knicks, the great point is, who else? It's kind of like the Suns. Like, who kind of else on this team's gonna step up? I know we've seen it at times from Quickly. Josh Hart, I know, was battling ankle injury last night, but game 1 he was phenomenal. Him and Jalen Brunson kind of carried the load on Saturday night. And Randall too played well in game 1. But yeah, like Barrett's got to play better. He's got to hit shots because he's averaging 10.5 points so far in the series. Like that, you got to get more out of him. And because especially last night, like, with the Cavs, like they really have 4 guys that they can lean on the score. Again, like, Isaac Okoro, again, he's a great defender. He's not a threat offensively at all. But then you get 24 off the bench from Chris LeVert. Like, that's their 5th guy. It potentially could be. So I feel like for both teams, like, it's who's kind of that one guy that's not really a big threat that can kind of have a big night and win you games and kind of help you out. And I think the Knicks have more of those guys than the Cavs do. And I think that's also why I'm leaning towards the Knicks right now as well.
Yeah, I picked the Cavs, before the series started, but seeing the way Randall has played in the first 2 games, I've changed my pick and I picked the Knicks. I think the Knicks win this series in 6 because I do think this Knicks team that is better than the Knicks team they had 2 years ago is going to win every game they play in Madison Square Garden. I think Madison Square Garden is going to be a great home court advantage. I think they're going to win every game they play in the Garden. I love the way Brunson stepped up late in game 1. He's proven to be a really good player. He's proven that to be an all-star in this league. He's a really good player. Dallas made a terrible move not re-signing him and then trading for Kyrie. But that's another story for another day. But I even though they lost last night as a Knicks fan, I am still confident that the Knicks are going to win this series.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you too. I think they find a way. Yeah, Brunson's just a winner, man. Like, you saw it at Nova. You're seeing it. Yeah, you saw it last year with Dallas. You're seeing it now at the Knicks. Yeah, De'Aaron Fox, Jalen Brunson, the 2 most underrated players in the sport.
Absolutely, I think so. I definitely think they are. I mean, De'Aaron Fox has proven to be close to a top 15 player, and Jalen Brunson's proven to be close to a top 25 player.
Yeah, so yeah, absolutely. Both of them have looked so far really good in the first two games, and yeah, both those two can look like they're capable of winning a couple games for their teams in their series. So yeah, I again, yeah, as you mentioned with the Mavericks, they really made a huge mistake not re-signing him, because that man is just a pure winner in Jalen Brunson. And yeah, Fox, I've been trying to raise the Fox flag for years now, and it's finally nice that he's been able to do it on the big stage.
Oh yeah, definitely for you it's been nice, and Brunson just stepping up the way he has, and yeah, I'm excited to see this series when it shifts back to the Garden. Jared Allen is going to get it from those fans on Friday night. Friday night they're going to be all over. You're going to hear the Allen, Allen, Allen chants at Madison Square Garden on Friday night.
Yes, you will. Even though I don't think he intentionally tried, I just think he was still playing hard, which I respect. And yeah, Thibodeau, I know Thibodeau loves Thibodeau.
Yeah, Tim should never have Randall in the game. Never should have him in the game there.
No, especially because he's still battling an injury right now. Like, that was dumb. But yeah, I know the Knicks fans will let Jared Allen hear that on Friday night. They're going to give him a hard time.
Oh, absolutely. And yeah, in this series, Mitchell is going to make his impact. Mitchell's the best player on the floor. But I do think the Knicks, and they proved this in game one, I think the Knicks are the deeper team. And I think if you're taking the first three guys, if you're drafting a team, you're taking the Knicks. You're taking, like, if you're drafting a team, obviously if you're drafting a team, obviously you're taking Mitchell first. But second, I think you're taking Brunson. You may take Garland third, but the third best player on the Knicks that's a tough one too. So yeah, I think the starting lines are pretty even, but I think the depth is going to be the difference, and that showed up in game one. And if Hart and IQ play really, really well in the two games in Madison Square Garden, I think the Knicks win those games. I think Brunson and Randall are going to play really well in those two games.
Yeah, absolutely. It's got to help Hart too that he's got the extra day now. Now that you're not playing a Friday now, so you got the extra 24 hours to get that ankle healthy. So yeah, that definitely helps. But yeah, I think the Knicks are a little bit deeper right now. Yeah, like Randall, I think continues. I think Randall will have a good game. But yeah, I just, as I mentioned, LeVert, at 24 last night played really well, but he's very streaky at times. Like, game one, he didn't play well. So like, if he's not knocking down shots, yeah, like I don't know who else outside of like the Cavs' other four guys. I don't know who's gonna hit shots for him. Like they just, like they were trying to find answers any way they could on Saturday night. Like they threw Dean Wade in there. He struggled to find any rhythm going. So yeah, like I feel like the Knicks are a little bit deeper, and I think at home, Brunson, I think, he wanted to go into New York. I think, he's got his opportunity here, playing for, in MSG. I think he has a great game 3 and game 4. And yeah, I think the Knicks find a way to win it. I think it goes 7, but the Knicks think find a way to win it.
Yeah, I got the Knicks in 6. Because I think their bench was the difference. It outscored the Cavs bench 37-14 in game 1. I think Brunson and Randall are good, and I think Barrett and Grimes are going to step up in these two games in New York. I got a good feel. I got faith in them. If they don't, I am going to be so upset, especially at RJ Barrett.
Yeah, this is the moment for Barrett. I know, the number 3 overall pick. This is kind of the time to shine and kind of, show that you were really worth that number 3 overall selection. And yeah, these two games coming up are huge for him. Yeah, the Knicks definitely need him to kind of play 2 of his best games. And yeah, another guy, Quentin Grimes, he can knock down shots as well. Yeah, the Knicks are going to be great shape in the series and could very well be 3-1 heading back to Cleveland.
Absolutely. Well, we got to move on to the other Eastern Conference series last night, and the Celtics went up 2-0 on the Hawks. They won 119-106, but that game wasn't even indicative of the final score. They dominated that game. Jason Tatum has been great in the postseason so far. He had 29. White had 26. Brown had 18. And realistically, the Celtics are just getting ready to play the Sixers. The Hawks are just an inferior team to the Celtics. Trae Young, I think his value has gone down over the last couple of years. Yes, he's a good player, but he's been held. I think he's 3 for 13 from 3-point range in the 2 games. He just has not elevated his team or really stepped up that much, especially in the last 2 postseasons. And I think this series is going to be done in 5.
Yeah, I think it's on a 4. I don't see the Hawks. This is a bad matchup for the Hawks.
I'll give Trae 1 game at home. You think Trae would be able to win 1 game at home after getting to the conference finals 2 years ago? How disappointing would that to get swept? But Quinn Snyder's got a lot he's got to change with this Hawks team. He's got to change his culture.
Oh yeah, I thought the Hawks were better without Trae Young on the floor last night. That's when they made their big run there without him on the floor. It was, Murray that was the big guy kind of stepped up. Yeah, as you mentioned, Young's really showed from behind the arc again, but the Celtics throw so many weapons at him defensively, and he's kind of struggled. And again, the Celtics just keep attacking him on the defensive end of the floor. He can't guard anybody. Derek White's been awesome offensively, and the Celtics just dominated the paint. They had 64 points in there last night. I know the Hawks had a big night on the offensive glass, but I don't see Trae Young being able to steal one at home. I just think the way the Celtics just guard him defensively, I think he's going to continue to have a rough night. And, I know the Hawks have some guys off the bench that could do it, but I love the Celtics defense, and they've kind of did a good job on all of them so far. And I just think this is just such a bad matchup for the Hawks. And I think the Celtics go down to Atlanta and finish the sweep off.
Absolutely, yeah, I could see that happening. I think the Celtics win in 5, but I could very easily see the Celtics sweeping them. But we got to move on to tonight's game, and there's a big game tonight in Memphis as the Lakers, who are up 1-0, face the Grizzlies, and it looks like there's a good chance Ja Morant won't play in this game. And the big question is, do the Grizzlies have any shot at winning tonight without Ja Morant? And I'm going to say no. I don't care if they're at home. No, they were outscored 15-0 in the last 3 minutes of that game without Ja Morant. He's clearly their best player. He makes the Desmond Baines, the Jaren Jacksons, the Dylan Brooks. He makes those guys better. I don't think they really have any chance of winning this game without Ja Morant. And you look at the way the Lakers have played and the guys who have stepped up for them: Austin Reeves, Roy Hachimura, D'Angelo Russell had 19 points. Pelinka did a really, really good job, putting this team, really making change to this team at the trade deadline.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm with you. I think the Grizzlies, Tyus Jones is a good offensive player, but defensively, he's not anywhere. He's not a great defender. And you saw Austin Reeves kind of expose him the other day. And yeah, I think also for the Grizzlies, you're already down Steven Adams, who's another starter, and you're down Brandon Clark, who's like your sixth man. You're down three of your six best, three of your six best players now. It's pretty tough. And they're 35-6 at home this year. Like, maybe they find a way to steal this one, but I'm kind of with you. Like, the way Rui Hachimura stepped up, Austin Reeves, Anthony Davis had a really good day, but like LeBron James didn't have to really do much, and they still won by 16. So
yeah, that's not a good sign for the Grizzlies. If LeBron doesn't have to do a lot and you still win by 16.
Yeah, that's a scary thing, and I think the Grizzlies are in a lot of trouble here, and maybe they find a way to steal this one. But look, I think the Lakers can win this thing, in 5. I without Morant, like, it's a shooting hand. Like, I don't know if you could shoot something up for him in his wrist, because you got to have some feeling in that. So I don't know. Yeah. Like, how effective would he even be if he plays tonight? If it's his offhand, sure. But if it's a shooting hand, it seems pretty difficult for him to go out there and play tonight. And I think he said in his press conference too, it was a 10 on Sunday after the game. Like, his paint threshold from 1 to 10 was a 10. So I can't imagine he plays in this game tonight.
Oh, yeah, I don't think so either. I don't think he's going to play, and I think the Lakers are definitely going to win tonight. I think LeBron and AD, and they're going to get contributions from Russell. They might even get contributions from Hachimura, but they very easily could get contributions from Malik Beasley, who's played well for them. Mm-hmm. So, and we saw what Austin Reeves did on Sunday. So I think that this is the Lakers. Pelinka did an outstanding job at the trade deadline, trading Russell Westbrook. First it was getting Hachimura in a trade, then trading Westbrook, and then getting D'Angelo Russell and Malik Beasley. So I think they've done it. The Lakers have done it. They're playing really well right now. I picked the Grizzlies before the series, but right now I'm taking the Lakers in 6. I'm taking the Lakers in 6 right now. I just really, really like the way they're playing.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think they win this thing. Depends if you could tell me Morant's out tonight, but he can be back in game 3, game 4. Maybe the Grizzlies steal 2 and they can take this to 6. But if not, I think the Grizzlies go. I think the Lakers win this thing in 5. But yeah, like, I expect LeBron to play better tonight. Yeah, you don't need production. You're not getting production from all. Yeah, Russell, Hachimura, Reeves, but yeah, Malik Beasley's a good shooter. Maybe he does a little bit more tonight. I expect Anthony Davis to have another big game today. LeBron's gonna play better tonight. But yeah, the Lakers did a really good job of kind of finally figuring out getting some shooters. They had the first or second best record since the All-Star break. They're playing really well. So yeah, I think this Lakers team right now, and I just think with the Grizzlies, look, the team that's been pretty cocky the last kind of couple years, they haven't, for a team that hasn't won anything. And, I know some injuries here have kind of started to pile up for them, but let's see how they kind of battle adversity tonight. And I think the Lakers knock them down. And look, I said, when we're talking about the Kings, let's get it ready. Let's get a Lakers Kings semifinal here. I know Sacramento's been waiting 20 years for this rematch.
Oh, they want that revenge. They want that revenge from 2002. They felt like they should have won that series in 2002 when the Kings had Peja Stojakovic, Chris Webber, and Mike Bibby and Vlade Divac. So they want their, and Jason Williams, they want their revenge over the Lakers. That'll be another really, really fun series if they went up against each other.
Yeah, absolutely. It absolutely would. So yeah, it said I'm hoping we can get that rematch going, and it'd be awesome to get another shot at those guys. I would love to see it. Love to see another Kings Lakers series.
Absolutely. So going from one superstar that's hurt to another, from Ja Morant to Giannis Antetokounmpo. Giannis got hurt. He only played 11 minutes in the Bucks lost to the Heat, but the Heat did lose Tyler Hero too. I think the biggest question is for the Bucks. What do the Bucks have to do to go up? What do the Bucks have to do to even the series tonight? And I think it's pretty simple. Drew Holiday has got to have a great game, and Middleton's got to continue to play the way they did in Game 1. If those two things happen, I think the Bucks, even without Giannis, have a very good chance of evening the series.
Yeah. My first one is, how about you play with some pride tonight? I did not see any of that on Sunday. Wow. I saw a team that kind of just – look, I know you lost Giannis. I know he's a superstar. I know he's one of the best players in the sport, but come on. This is a Heat team that came out, played Friday night on short rest, came all the way up to Milwaukee, and they came into your house and punked you. And it's a team that's not even that great offensively. They came in, did whatever they wanted.
Scored 130 points.
Yeah, on your home floor. After, you really haven't had it. I know it's been like 2 weeks and you had a meaningful game, but man, they went in the the Bucks got to go out there tonight and play some pride, and actually defensively they got to be a lot better. But look, I think, as you mentioned, Middleton's got to continue to play well. Drew Holiday, Bobby Portis too. If he put up 21 the other night, he's another one. If they can get like another 20 points from him contribution wise, the Bucks would be in good shape. And and actually I just have this stat too for the Bucks and their 3-point shooting. When they shoot over, this is since the playoffs in 2019, they're 22-5 when they shoot at least 35% from three. They're 16-18 when they shoot less than that. And their last 3 playoff losses, they've shot 24% from three, 12%, and 24.4% from three. The Bucks hit threes, yeah, they can win this game. If not, they're going to lose.
Yeah, exactly. And I do think they win tonight. I do think they win tonight without Giannis. And I do think they end up winning this series in 6. I'll take them to win this series in 6. But it probably is going to – this could – because of Giannis's injury and them not being ready to play, this could go a game or two too long. And it could hurt them down the line in the playoffs.
Yeah, it absolutely could. It definitely could. We saw the Heat down there in the bubble. They gave – they upset Milwaukee. I could see it again, but I think Giannis is going to be back, and I think the Bucks do find a way. Yeah, I think this thing probably goes 6, maybe 7, but I think the Bucks are still – they got a little bit more talent. Again, Jimmy Butler had a phenomenal game, but yeah, I think the Bucks still have a little bit more talent. I think they will find a way to kind of overcome the series, but yeah, it could really affect them down the line because everyone's, they should beat the Knicks or the Cavs, but again, I think those are two teams that could potentially – sneak up on them and give them another kind of 6-7 game battle. And, look, Celtics, the way they're playing, maybe they get done with the Sixers in 5 games. They got more rest. So, yeah, it could be something that affects them down the line.
Absolutely. So now we're going to talk about the 2 worst series in the first round quickly. And first, we'll talk about tonight's game between the T-Wolves and Nuggets. And the simple fact about this series, I think the Nuggets are going to win in 5. And here's another fact. The T-Wolves are just a better team without Rudy Gobert. I mean, honestly, they shoot the ball better from 3. You saw that playing game with the Lakers. That was the best we've seen of the T-Wolves all season long. They're a better team without Gobert. But they can't get rid of him. They're stuck with him because he's making $41 million a year. Maybe one of the worst trades I've ever seen in the NBA. And honestly, I think that Anthony Towns and Edwards could be off this team in the next couple of years because this team is just going to go nowhere with Rudy Gobert on it.
Yeah, Gobert. Would they give up for him? 4 or 5 first-round picks?
Four first-round picks.
Wow. That's Danny
Yeah.
Ainge, man. He can really he can really negotiate trades there. Because the Gobert's been, look at Gobert can kind of slow down, like the Joker, defensively. Maybe he can hang in there, but yeah, I just again
Please.
Gobert, that guy's a train wreck, and yeah, what a trade there. And yeah, Townsend, Edwards, yeah, they could be gone the next couple of years. Now that, like the Timberwolves, they want to try to kind of make this game ugly. I think the Nuggets just got way too much talent. I'm with you. I think wouldn't be shocked as a sweep, but I think Minnesota finds a way to win one at home. But yeah, this Gobert trade, that thing, it's definitely going to go down as one of the worst trades in NBA history.
Absolutely. And then another series that should be quick, and that's the Nets and the 76ers. James Harden pretty much just took the game off on Monday night, and they still won by 12 points because the Nets just don't have any top-end talent. They don't. I mean, I'm no offense to, Bridges and Cam Johnson, but they were guys the Suns gave away to get Kevin Durant. So, I mean, it's just like the Nets, yes, Jock Vaughn's done a great job with this team, but this team, if this was their team all year long, they would have definitely not made it out of the play-in tournament, and it's proven in this series. The Sixers won game 1 by 20. I mean, they win the game on Monday night when Harden just doesn't even think there's a game. He just didn't show up on Monday night at all. So I think this series will go no more than 5 games.
No, I'm with you. Yeah, like I think the Nets have a lot of good kind of pieces, but yeah, they're missing that star. Like obviously they had those stars, but we all know what happened after that. And yeah, like the Sixers played so bad in the first half. Like Maxey saved them, they look so lethargic, and I think they're kind of like
motivation. There's no motivation playing a team like this in the playoffs.
Yeah, and they still won by 12 and beat Saw 2019, and they doubled them. So yeah, I think this thing's over 4 or 5 games. The Sixers should roll, and this is a simple one.
Absolutely. So we have a quarterback who got a huge deal on Monday. But before we talk about that, we're going to hear from our friends at JPEG Financial and Shamrock Home Inspections.
Do you have a 401k and some savings for future retirement, but don't even know if it's enough to live off of? How much is enough? How often are you thinking about it? The team at JPEG's Financial Group can help set your mind at ease. We specialize in creating strategies in the planning and managing of your financial, educational, and investment needs. We help clients pursue their investment goals with sound financial strategies. You deserve a personal, tailored plan. Lasting, meaningful, and open relationships are the foundation of our practice. You've worked hard for your money and should feel confident in your investment choices as you make decisions for your financial future. Your goals are our goals. We are dedicated to your needs and hopes for your future. Visit our website and give us a call at 860-430-5397. Securities offered through Raymond James Financial Services, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through Raymond James Financial Services Advisors, Inc. JPEG's Financial Group, LLC is not a registered broker-dealer and is independent of Raymond James Financial Services. JPEG's Financial Group is located at 78 Eastern Boulevard, Glastonbury, Connecticut. There's no bigger investment than home ownership. And to make sure the house is up to your standards, you need a professional to look it over. Brian Flanagan from Shamrock Home Inspections is a licensed home inspector and a member of the Connecticut Association of Home Inspectors. Brian was a contractor for over 15 years, so he knows how homes should be constructed and how mechanicals should work.
What makes me a good home inspector was the 20 years that I was a home improvement person, doing all the different repairs that I have done and what other people have done wrong that I had to go out and fix. So I have a pretty quick eye on seeing what's right and what's wrong. Before you move, call Shamrock Home Inspections.
Before you make the biggest investment of your life, call Brian Flanagan from Shamrock Home Inspections at 860-268-2566 or visit shamrockhomeinspectionct.com.
So it has happened. The Eagles have extended Jalen Hurts. They extended him to they got a 5-year, $250 million extension on Monday. And this is a big deal for the Eagles, but this is well-deserved for Jalen Hurts. I mean, the guy's worked so hard. He's overcame so much adversity. We remember him getting pulled in the national championship game for Tua. Then he had to pretty much sit behind Tua. Outside of that one game where he came in and won that SEC title game, he pretty much sat behind Tua the entire 2018 season. Then went to Oklahoma. This is a big reason why he got drafted. He had a huge year at Oklahoma, gets drafted in the second round by the Eagles, sits behind Carson Wentz that first year, had a average rookie. He had a so-so first year as a starter in 2021, and there was a lot of rumors that the Eagles might want to get a quarterback. And last year was definitely a year where Jalen Hurts had to have a good year, or the Eagles might have thought and the Eagles were, if they didn't have a good year last year, the Eagles probably were thinking about going in another direction. And he had a phenomenal year. Really, he was great in that Super. Outside of the fumble, he was outstanding in the Super Bowl. A lot of fans wish he would have gotten a shot at the end of the game to drive the Eagles down the field, but unfortunately, for most people, unfortunately, he didn't because of the holding call. But this is a well-deserved contract for him. Here's the one thing, though. I think I wish he would have done. I wish he would have tried to get more guaranteed money than Kyler Murray. He's a better quarterback than Kyler Murray. I wish he would have gotten more guaranteed money than Kyler Murray. That's the one thing I'm a little disappointed in Hurts for, but he does have more. He is getting more money per year than any player in the NFL, and you knew it was going to happen. He's the next guy up. You knew he was going to get north of $50 million. I'm a little bit surprised though he didn't get over more than Kyler Murray or even over $200 million guaranteed. That's just the thing I'm a little bit surprised about.
Yeah, I was a little bit surprised by that. Because with Murray's contract, what he's getting, it's kind of, and for the two resumes, you would expect Jalen Hurts to get more of that, more guaranteed money. But I'm with you. With Jalen Hurts and kind of what he's gone through, it's great to see him have so much success here at the NFL level. He's gonna, him and the Eagles are gonna get a Super Bowl in this time frame at this next 5-year deal. And he just fits that like modern day kind of offense now with the quarterback being able to scramble and run. He had 18 rushing touchdowns last year, and and you saw his development in the passing game this year. Him and the Eagles have really done a good job of figuring that out. And look, it's it's a great testament to him because as you mentioned, he battled so much adversity. He's done everything he could, and he's gotten so much better the last couple of years. So it's great to see. And I guess his contract, I guess, shows it's now we get to the next part that the Browns did not totally change the QB market.
No, they absolutely didn't. And good thing they didn't. Because that was a desperate franchise that was desperate for a quarterback. So, yes, they did not change the market, which is good. But, your two things you say lead me to my next 2 points. And I'll get to my first one. You already answered this question about the Eagles. But the big question is, will the Eagles win the Super Bowl in the next 5 years? And you already answered it, and you said yes. But it hurts me to say this, but I have to agree with you. I think they will because I trust that GM. That GM built that 2017 championship team, and let's be honest, they won a Super Bowl with Nick Foles as their starter against the greatest quarterback of all time, when he had an all-time performance too in that game where he threw for over 500 yards. So they won a Super Bowl with Nick Foles, and then he gets back to a Super Bowl 5 years later with another coach and another quarterback. I trust this GM. The Eagles have a top 5 quarterback right now in Jalen Hurts. It pains me to say this as a Giants fan, but in the next 5 years, I do see the Eagles winning a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I bet it does as a Giant fan to, with Howie Roseman's done. And what was it, like 3 years ago, fans were calling for his job.
Yeah, when he took Jefferson, he took Jalen Reagor over Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, it got ugly there for him for a bit. He's done a really good job building this team, building them back to the Super Bowl. He's done a great job in his tenure with the Eagles. So, I'm with you. I especially with how wide open the NFC is right now. I think the Eagles, it's not, maybe be a little bit different that they're over in the AFC and with all those great young quarterbacks, but there's not as many in this league, and I think that's why the Eagles find a way one year to figure it out, and they'll definitely, I think, win a Super Bowl the next couple of years.
Absolutely. And I hate to say absolutely, but that looks like that's going to be the reality of the situation. But as you also brought up about setting the quarterback market, and the Eagles not, resetting the quarterback market because they did not give Jalen Hurts a fully guaranteed contract. Now, what we want to talk about is, what does this deal mean for Lamar, Burrow, and Herbert? I think if you're Eric DeCosta, you better have a deal ready for Lamar Jackson, over $50 million and over $200, not fully guaranteed. But if you can get a deal over $50 million and over $200 or more guaranteed money than Kyler Murray in that range, I think that Lamar is going to sign that deal. I think that if you're Eric DeCosta, you got to do that. Joe Burrow, this is a guarantee for Joe Burrow. There is no way he is not going to get a contract that's over $50 million per year or over $200 guaranteed. He may even get fully guaranteed money with how good he is, but this is a guarantee. There is a 0% chance that he is not going to get a contract that is under 200. He's going. The thing is, this is guaranteed. He's going to get a contract that is over 200 million a year and over 50. Over 50 million a year and over 200 million guaranteed. That is happening. That is absolutely happening for Joe Burrow. And then Justin Herbert. It depends on where he lines up between these guys. But he's probably gonna. I think Herbert is gonna get at least 50 million per year, and I think he's gonna get over 200 guaranteed too. I think Lamar, Burrow, and Herbert at the end of the day are gonna get over 50 million a year and over 200 guaranteed. That's what's gonna happen with those guys.
Yeah, I could totally see it. With Lamar, he doesn't have that durable appearance in yet. But yeah, but the Ravens I think have already offered him close to 200 million guaranteed, and he still turned it down. I know he wants more. We know that, but yeah, there's nobody that's going to give him a fully guaranteed contract anymore. That's out of the table, for him. So yeah, like he'll probably still get over 50 million, but he's not, he wants that fully guaranteed, and that ain't happening anytime. Nobody's giving that to him. Right now, there's not a team desperate enough to do that. Like the Browns did with Boston last year. There's just not. And yeah, with Burrow and Herbert, they're both going to get pretty similar deals, but yeah, I think both of them will get more guaranteed money. Especially Burrow, because Burrow and Hurts, they have the same type of resume. They've been to a Pro Bowl. They've both been to a Super Bowl so far. They've both put up some really impressive numbers. I know Herbert hasn't gotten to the Super Bowl yet. He doesn't have that playoff win. But again,
look at his highlights. Look at the highlights. Look at the potential of the guy. Yeah, listen. Yeah. Am I saying that Justin Herbert is as good as as Burrow or Hurts? No. Looking at his playoff record, doesn't have a playoff win in 3 wins, and he blew a 27-0 lead in the playoff game. I'm not saying he's as good, but he's good enough to get paid.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, he's got all the physical tools. Like we've seen it. Like we've seen it from him. Like again, he's got everything that he's got. What again, like the coaching. Obviously we've seen has not helped him out at all. But again. And again, like the Chargers, like we've seen what happened with Phillip Rivers all those years in LA. Like he was one of the better quarterbacks, and he could never get over the hump. And that was kind of some of the franchise. Some of it was him, but yeah, so far, I expect Herbert to get to the Super Bowl one day. He's just, in LA, he's going to be able to do that. But yeah, Burrow's going to get a ton of money. He's probably one of the best pocket passers in the game. If not, he's probably the best actually. Doesn't have the mobility like Jalen Hurts does, but he makes up for it. In what he can do in the pocket. And yeah, with Herbert, we've seen the numbers he could put up. Yeah, we've seen all the highlights. We've seen it all from him. And yeah, he's another one that's going to make a lot of money. But the Bengals and Chargers better kind of start figuring out these contracts now, because because whoever gets paid first, Burrow or Herbert, the next guy after that's going to get even more. So to kind of save a little bit of money, you'd rather kind of wrap this up now.
Yeah, the Chargers and the Chargers and Bengals definitely got to get this done by this summer, because I think they should try to get it done even before Lamar, because if they get it done after Lamar, it's just going to get more, and it's just keep going up. These quarterback contracts aren't going down; they just keep going up, and that's the reality of the situation.
Yeah, absolutely. It's insane what these quarterbacks are going to get, and again, down the line, what's going, how much more money these quarterbacks are going to keep making. So yeah, it's impressive what some of these guys be able to do. The testament to them. But yeah, Bengals, Chargers, yeah, absolutely. They both are both those front officers are definitely on the phones with those two with Burrows and Herbert's agents, and trying to kind of figure out a deal here long term, because yeah, those two as well are about to make a lot of money.
Absolutely. So we got to shift to baseball. We got to shift to the Yankees. The Yankees did not have a good week this week. I know they won 2 games against the Twins, but they've lost 3 of their last 5. And I think the biggest storyline for the Yankees is obviously Stanton going on the DL. But is that a surprise that Stanton's on the DL? No. It's not a surprise at all. He's He's missed more than 20 games every year since the first years with the Yankees in 2018. This is what the Yankees got when they traded for him. A guy who can't stay, a very good player who can't stay healthy, and it's had a trickle of down effect to the lineup, because they've only scored 4 runs in their last 2 games, and you look at this team offensively, over in the last week. I mean, Glaber's 1 for 21, Judge is 2 for 18. Offensively, this has definitely been a problem for this team, and the offense has just not been as good this year so far. Judge hasn't had the year he's had. Glaber's gotten cold. Rizzo's been good. Stan wasn't even great when he got in the lineup. LeMahieu's been average for 3 years. Volpe, I know he had all those stolen bases, but he's still hitting under 200. Kiner Falefa is absolutely terrible. Franchi Cordero has cooled off. Yeah, this lineup has just not been. That has definitely been a problem, especially over the last week for the Yankees.
Yeah, a lot of injuries. Bader's been out. Josh Donaldson's been out, and actually, Josh Donaldson's a rehab assignment. I guess some soreness again last night. So I don't expect Josh Donaldson to be back up here anytime soon, even though he's not much of help. But yeah, Stan. Look, like the thing with Stan is it's always a leg thing. Like, does he just not stretch correctly? Like, what is it? It's always some type of leg injury with him, and it's always rounding a base. Like, it just I don't know, but yeah. And the other problem is now too with them going in the out. Whenever he comes back, they're not throwing in the outfield anymore. He's going to have to DH now every day. So that kind of takes out that equation too now. But yeah, like this lineup, it's been frustrating to watch. Yeah, like Judge is starting to cool off. Glaber's kind of gone off. Had that hot start, but he's kind of come back down to earth now. Trevino hasn't been great offensively either. It's just again, it's like this. I'm not shocked. Like they didn't really make any. Obviously, they had to resign Judge. Like that was absolutely
obviously. But I think it was a must. But I think the problem is the team never. The only thing they did to get better is sign Carlos Rendon. He's been Rodon, and he's been out for the last week. And they really were never able to improve really anywhere else. They were never able to improve the outfield. And Volpe's hitting under 200 when they could have signed Trey Turner.
Yeah, they could have, and they could have, and yeah, it's kind of again. I like Volpe again. I still think he's had some good at bats. I think he's got to just round that corner here. But look, I know what you're saying. Like Trey Turner's would have been great. I would even look Carlos Correa more just because the fire he brings, and I know that I would have been fine. I know.
I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind it having Correa. To be honest, I wouldn't mind him. I was at the game on Friday night. He had a huge game against the Yankees.
Yeah, he destroys us, and I would love to have a guy like that in our locker room. We don't have any of those guys. Again, I would have loved to have Andrew Benintendi back this year. I know he didn't want to resign here, and I get it. He was a Red Sox for a while. I get it, but I would have loved to have Benintendi in that outfield. Now you got to play Aaron Hicks every day, and again, his at bats are so bad. Like it's not like he's batting 125 and he's hitting line shots and he's getting poor luck. He can't even put the ball in play, and his at bats stink, and his attitude stinks, and it's just a ripple effect with him. And it's just like the lineup stinks. Rendon, who knows when he's coming back, and this is why nobody else gave him a 5. This is why nobody went above 5 years with Rendon. This is why, because of the injury concerns.
But again, that was a desperate new move by the Yankees to try to get better in the offseason. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just it's just the way it's going. And then, do you remember last offseason? It was like right one of the days right after they traded for Donaldson. It was Cashman kind of saying, we love Gio, but like Josh Donaldson's like a better player than Gio Urshela. There was one guy who did play last night, and third place in Yankee Stadium.
Exactly.
Wasn't Josh Donaldson. So.
Exactly. That trade has not worked out for the Yankees. I mean, it did a little bit with Trevino last year. That trade has not worked out for the Yankees, getting rid of Gio Urshela and getting, Trevino, who hasn't played well at all this year, Donaldson, and Kiner Falefa, who is absolutely terrible.
Yeah, Kiner Falefa stinks. Trevino was another one. This was that was Ben Worthbed that was in that one. I don't even know if it's a real guy because we haven't seen him in a year and a half.
Yeah.
So
exactly. Yeah.
But yeah. As you mentioned, that trade stunk. Yeah, I know Gary's no longer in the league anymore, but look, Josh Donaldson is not the same Josh Donaldson of 5 years ago. He's just not, and he can't stay on the field. And look, I know at the end of spring training, people are like, oh, look at his new stance and look at the bats.
Please
I'm good.
Stop it.
I'm done with that.
Yeah.
Last year we have to deal with him, and we get that $25 million off the book. So
exactly.
What did Craig got right around that? Like we could have got great for Josh Donaldson. Like we could have. It's frustrating.
Exactly. So now moving on to the Red Sox, and they've actually been playing well. They swept the Angels, who we couldn't beat on last night, and they won. No, they won 3 out of 4 with the Angels. They lost on Patriots Day, but they won a big game last night. Alex Verdugo with the game with the RBI double to win the game, and I think this team. I think a big reason why this team is winning is Devers and Verdugo are off to really good starts. Their bullpens made a difference. Getting Kenley Jansen, I'll give Chaim credit for this. Going out and getting Kenley Jansen was a good move. He's 4 out of 4 in saves, but the issue still remains. I know Chris Sale pitched well last night. That's a little bit of a positive sign for the Sox rotation, and I know that I know they got a good start from Whitlock on was it Saturday or this weekend? But
Sunday.
Sunday. But the problem is this rotation is too
Sunday.
inconsistent. Then I think that's still going to be the issue for the Sox going forward.
Yeah, it's a big issue. Paxton, I think, supposed to be doing some rehab assignments coming up. I think 2 rehab assignments coming up. I think maybe another week they might have him back. So that helps the rotation out a little bit. But yeah, the thing is, how many starts do you actually get out of them? But yeah, they need Sale looked great. That looked like the Chris Sale of old. Corey Kluber, again, they're hoping to get more out of. Hasn't been great either. But yeah, Brian Balow got rocked. He didn't look good. I know they were high on him coming in. They were hoping to get a better kind of year from him. He was not good on Monday. But yeah, the bullpen's been good. And Josh Winkowski, a guy who ended up kind of being a starter, came up as a starter last year. They moved in the bullpen. He's been really good so far. He's been locked down. He gave up a run last night in 2 innings, but he's been pretty good for him as well. So yeah, the bullpen's been pretty good. Jansen's been nasty. John Schreiber, who, it's kind of left off where he finished last year. He's been good, but yeah, it's kind of the rotation right now. Again, if Sale kind of figures some things out, which it looked like he did, maybe you get the Chris Sale of old, which helps, but yeah, the rotation, the rest of it right now is a big question mark.
Absolutely. So we're going to wrap up the show talking a little bit of hockey. And last night, the Rangers beat the Devils 5-1 to go up 1-0 in the best-of-7 series. And I think the Rangers are clearly the better team. You saw Tarasenko and Kreider set the tone in the first period last night. I think the Rangers are clearly a better team. I know Jack Hughes had a great year for the Devils. But I honestly, him and Dougie Hamilton are the only 2 players I can name on that team. These are not the Devils of old. They're a young team. I think the Rangers are. I know the Devils got more points in the regular season, but what does that really matter? I feel like the Rangers are clearly the better team and should win this series easily. Should win this series. I think the Devils might give them a little bit of a battle. I think maybe they win it in 6, but it would be good for the Rangers to win this in 4 or 5 so they could be rested for the rounds coming up.
Yeah, it would be, but we know the Rangers. They don't usually they like to make things. They like to make us sweat it out as fans. So
yes,
I fully expect that. But yeah, I thought the Rangers played really well. That power play is so good, and I loved how physical they were with Jack Hughes and Nico Hauser, like the Devils, 2 kind of young guys who haven't played in the playoff game before last night. I loved how the Rangers kind of just set the physicality with those 2. And I thought Igor played really well. He gave up the 1 goal on the penalty shot there, but like I thought, they played really well in front of him. Yeah, Kreider looked good. Congrats to him being the all-time leading scorer now in the playoffs in Ranger history. But yeah, I like the way the Rangers played. Adam Fox with the 4 assists. He's probably the best defenseman as a creator in the NHL. But yeah, like the Devils have some good young talent. They came out of nowhere this year. Their goaltending's been good, but he didn't, but yeah, I think the Rangers have more talent. I think this thing goes 6 just because I think, Devils, I think probably win game 2. Maybe they get game 5, but I think the Rangers should win the 6. But yes, it would be really nice to kind of win at 4 or 5. And more than likely you're playing the Hurricanes. It would be nice to kind of get a couple of extra days off against them. And hopefully the Islanders could, go the distance with them and maybe somehow surprise and get the upset.
Yeah, let's hope the Islanders get a couple games at USB Arena. But we'll talk about the Panthers and the Bruins. And the big question is do the Panthers have any chance in this series? Bruins won 3-1. And honestly, I don't think the series goes more than 5 because I can't even name a player on the Panthers.
Yeah, Matthew Karachek had 40 goals this year. Like, this is, he's pretty good. Like, the Panthers they were the President Cup winners last year. I don't know how they won the President.
I don't know how they had the best record in the NHL. I don't know how they had the best record.
They got hot last year. Bobrovsky this year is just he got benched. I don't know if he did not have a good year. The goaltending's kind of an issue. Ekblad's one of the better defenders, but I think he was hurt most of the year. Good portion of the year. But I liked their young goalie, Alex Lyon. He left a softie, but I still thought he had a solid night in net. For a guy that's only played about 13 NHL games, this year. Like I thought he played pretty well, but. The Panthers, I could win a game or 2. The Bruins have been dealing with a bug. Bergeron's out again tonight. But, the Panthers had, I think, more shots than the Bruins did. The Panthers had some opportunities. Yolmark played really well in that. I think the Panthers could steal 1 or 2 at home, but yeah, I think this Bruins team, was it Marchand before the game 1? It was either Marchand, I think it was Marchand, was saying, like, there was a lot of butterflies in our locker room before the game. Like, the Bruins know the amount of pressure they're under. So, like, if the Panthers can win a game or, win tonight, maybe win one down in Florida this weekend, yeah, maybe they'll worry about the Bruins, because there is a lot of pressure on the team. But, yeah, I think they should win this thing in 5 or 6.
Absolutely, absolutely. So that's going to wrap it up on Sports Talk with R&J. For Justin D'Onofrio, I'm Steve Risser. We will be back next week doing our mock draft and talking about the NBA playoffs. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Jones on first down, wide open, it's Barkley. And Saquon Barkley will take it into the end zone.
Your best ability is availability. Saquon Barkley, he's great when he's on the field, but the problem is since 2018, he hasn't been healthy for this team.
Look at this. They lob it to him. He taps it in off the glass. How about that?
Porter Moser, I think right now is the best coach of college basketball, hands down.
Fins 2 for 3. He's done his part. Pitch is drilled to deep right field toward the pole, and it is gone.
They don't mind not being what they were in the 90s as the best organization in baseball, because the Yankees aren't even close to the best organization in baseball.
You're trying to be the Rays, and the Rays do this for a reason. Like, you're the Yankees.
Hello, my name is Joe Aguirre. I'm the president of Clovercrest Media Group. And here at CMG, we have a wide variety of podcasts, including sports shows like Keys to the City, The Roll Call, Throwing Jabs, All Four Downs, and Jawing About the G-Men. And great true crime shows like Sticky Week, Crimes and Consequences, Ivy League Murders, and Bird, the unsolved murder of David Eichmann. You can find all these podcasts and so much more by visiting clovercrestmedia.com.